getting noticed, that y'all about to try to sell these schools behind my back. And that's what bothers me, that black people would see that about to go down and nobody would say a damn word about it.
Welcome, viewers. Dr. Umar Johnson, and here we are again, back for another chapter in the never-ending saga. As you already know, this man has been raising money for a school since 2013. We're standing in 2025, and yet the FDMG Academy is still not open. Not a single student, not a single class. But if you listen to Umar, nothing is ever his fault. Every delay, every setback, every missing milestone magically turns into a hater, a sabotage attempt, or some new conspiracy. Just never his own accountability.
Some of them feel like we don't need them here, let's sabotage. Others because they don't like what I stand for, what I believe in, whatever. Or maybe they just black bourgeoisies with an uppity Negro whitewash attitude.
According to Umar, everyone else is the problem. The cities, the critics, the haters, even the rain itself. Honestly, at this point, he might as well blame the Easter Bunny too. So today, we're breaking down Umar's words and showing you how he has perfected the ancient art of blaming literally everyone except himself. Let's jump in. In this interview, he calls into a show hosted by a man named Baba. And the reason Umar loves talking to him, because Baba gives him the softest, most pillow-fluffy interviews imaginable. Nothing challenging, just space for Umar to unload his entire list of grievances. For over an hour, he vents about everything. How YouTubers are attacking him, how the Frederick Douglass Marcus Garvey Academy is being sabotaged, the $30,000 water bills, the vacant property fees, and even a 5-year-old high grass ticket from the pandemic era. It's not an interview, it's a feature-length documentary of excuses. So let's break down a few of his most unbelievable claims. Right from the top, Umar declares that the reason the school hasn't opened since 2014 is because, wait for it, yes, that is genuinely how he chooses to open the conversation.
If you can remember, what started this entire process was an attempt to purchase HBCU St. Paul's College in Lawrenceville, Virginia, when it was put up for auction back in April of 2014. And so when I heard about that, I initially went to work to try to raise the funds to secure the HBCU St. Paul's campus. And from the very beginning, struggle streamers from YouTube, other haters, disgruntled former associates, black bourgeoisies, rainbow gangers, everybody, they contacted the auction company and they tried to prevent them from accepting our bid. We wasn't able to raise enough money anyway, so it ultimately didn't matter one way or the other, but I'm just bringing it up to let you know that the hate is as old as the project.
At this point, Dr. Umar has turned fundraising into his own cinematic universe, the Umarverse. You've got the YouTube haters, the disgruntled former associates, and the legendary mysterious bougie black elite. Basically, the BBA Avengers, except broke and without superpowers. Here's the actual truth. Back in 2014, he simply didn't raise enough money to buy St. Paul's College. That's the whole story. Roll credits. But admitting that, Umar could never. So instead, he imagines a shadow army of struggle streamers plotting against him, as if people with a $20 webcam and a Cash App tag are coordinating with some secret underground organization to stop his dream school. The real villain isn't YouTube. It's basic math. Not enough money, not enough experience, not enough expertise. Sometimes it's not sabotage, it's subtraction. And the funniest part, most of the haters he talks about didn't even exist until years after he missed the St. Paul's deadline. They're reacting to the endless delays, not causing them. It's like blaming movie critics for your film flopping when you never even finish the script. That's the recurring Umar pattern. When reality doesn't match his fantasy, he doesn't adjust the dream, he rewrites reality. No school? Not because the numbers didn't add up, but because the Illuminati of internet trolls made a mysterious phone call. If you've ever heard the phrase moving the goalpost, Umar went ahead and built an entire stadium out of it. He can't just say, "We failed at step 1, I didn't know what I was doing." Instead, he transforms it into a full-blown conspiracy thriller. Right from the start, he shows us exactly what this whole interview is about: dodging accountability. Because if your opening line is, "It's the haters' fault, we didn't buy the school," you've already admitted you're allergic to responsibility. And now for the wild part, he's literally beefing with water. Not the city, not the contractor. Actual water. He claims Wilmington charged him $30,000 even though no one is using the sinks. All right then, let's hear it.
Let me tell you what it was for. $30,000 was for water. Baba, we don't use no water because nobody is in the school. I want the listeners to understand me. The city of Wilmington is trying to defunct our school through nonsense fees. I'm going to say it again. The city government of Wilmington, Delaware, and the Negro bureaucracy.
So this is classic Dr. Umar Johnson storytelling. He talks like Wilmington has a guy hiding in the bushes with a hose, spraying his building just to rack up charges. $30,000 in water fees, but no water used? Sounds outrageous until you hear what he conveniently leaves out. Every property owner pays stormwater and sewage fees. If you own a roof and rain hits it, the runoff goes into the city system, and you get a bill. It doesn't matter if every faucet in the building is bone dry. It's the same logic as property taxes on an empty building. But Umar frames it like the city mayor personally snuck into his basement and opened a secret faucet. They're charging me for water I didn't even use. No, man, it rained. If you want to file a complaint, take it up with the clouds. This is Umar's biggest trick. He takes a normal universal city policy and repackages it as a targeted conspiracy. That way his supporters think they're out to stop Umar. They don't want the school to open. Truth is, everyone wants to see the school. People want classrooms, not excuses about stormwater bills. If your biggest enemy after 10 years is a storm drain, maybe the problem isn't sabotage. Maybe the school just isn't ready. Yes, $30,000 in fees sucks, but it's not a plot against him. It's called owning a building, and every landlord in Wilmington gets hit with the same charges. Still, Umar spins it into persecution that doesn't exist. And next, he claims the city raised the vacant property fee from $5,000 to $12,000 specifically to block him, even though it's literally a citywide ordinance.
Baba, they raised the vacant property registration fee up to $12,000 for this year. So if we don't get the waiver, that's $25,000. Nonsense fees, Baba. Nonsense fees. We would have given the city of Wilmington, Delaware, who ain't done nothing for us at all.
This is where Dr. Umar shows he's not just battling haters. He's battling basic logic. The city raised the vacant property fee for every building that's been empty for 5 years or more. Not just his school, not his block, everyone. But in Umar's universe, the city council apparently held a secret meeting like, how do we stop this one guy with a microphone? The funniest part? The entire purpose of the fee is to make people use their buildings. Don't want to pay it? Easy. Open the school, put students inside. Problem solved. But instead of focusing on the final steps, Umar is bouncing from radio show to radio show, then hopping on a plane to Europe for paid speeches, all while the school sits untouched. It's genius spin, honestly. He reframes a normal city ordinance as some grand plot, calling it gentrification, saying they're raising fees to push black folks out, when in reality, they just want abandoned buildings to actually be used.
Because I get a lot of love down there. I've been getting hundreds of calls from the brothers and sisters who live in the Wilmington area because they're looking forward to the school for their boys, and they don't like this at all. And some of them are telling me that the city has done this to other black property owners.
It makes absolutely no sense. This rule applies to everyone, The barber shop down the block, the dusty old warehouse, even that abandoned corner store. But Umar, he acts like the entire city rewrote its laws just to attack him. It's like getting audited by the IRS and pretending it's a personal conspiracy, when everybody pays taxes. But that's the Umar hustle. He takes a normal policy and twists it into a dramatic story of persecution. And his supporters fall for it. Wow, the city is really trying to stop his school. Meanwhile, nobody asks the obvious question. If you've been raising money since 2013, why isn't the school open in 2025? There's no secret Umar tax. The city raised fees for everybody. And if the school were actually open, he wouldn't even be in this situation. So the real problem isn't the policy, it's his procrastination. Just open the damn school. Then he drops another wild claim. The problem isn't the white mayor, it's the Negro bureaucracy. Translation? According to him, black employees in city offices are secretly plotting against him. So let's hear how he spins that one.
Together.
I'm going to call it a war because I believe the city government of Wilmington and the Negro bureaucracy has declared war on the Frederick Douglass and Marcus Garvey Academy. I'm talking about the government and the Negro bureaucracy. Not everybody in the government and not everybody in the Negro bureaucracy, but certain key people are definitely undermining us and sabotaging us.
Well, what do house Negroes do?
So there's people who make things happen for us who are sabotaging.
That's
like
right.
how she refused to put through my waiver request.
Yeah.
That email I sent her October 14th, that was an official request for a waiver.
This might be the wildest one yet. Umar's whole brand is black pride, unity, self-determination, but the moment his paperwork slows down, suddenly the villain is the Negro bureaucracy. So now it's not the white mayor, not the city council, not the big bad system, it's the black woman working the permit desk who's somehow blocking his revolution. The irony is so thick you could build school walls with it. After years preaching unity, he turns around and claims his biggest enemy isn't white supremacy, it's black city employees just doing their jobs. Convenient, right? This is what grifters do. When things don't go their way, they blame the very people they pretend to be fighting for. Everyone becomes the enemy. If you blame the mayor, it would just sound like normal bureaucracy. But blaming black officials, now it's betrayal. Now it's drama. And drama keeps people hooked. He even said the city attorney and the secretary, all black, are part of some plot. He's living in a Scooby-Doo episode. I would open a school if it weren't for those meddling Negroes. Here's reality. If you're stuck waiting on approvals, you push harder, you escalate, you call lawyers, you manage the project. But Umar turns every delay into sabotage. Instead of being the leader who solves problems, he becomes the victim who narrates them. That's not opening a school, that's producing a soap opera. Either there's a massive Negro bureaucracy conspiracy, or Dr. Umar is just projecting his own failures. And after 11 years, door number 2 is looking pretty obvious. Then there's his next claim, one he's been repeating since day one, that the city tried to secretly sell his school building in a sheriff's sale without telling him. According to Umar, Wilmington was sneaking around like repo men for education, trying to snatch the building in the dead of night. No letters, no warnings, nothing. But here's the problem. Sheriff sales don't magically appear. They happen when bills pile up. And Umar admits he owed vacant property fees and water charges. That alone puts your property at risk. Sure, maybe the city was slow to communicate, that's possible, but you can't rewrite the fact that he was in debt. It's like ignoring your light bill for months and then yelling sabotage when the power gets cut. Bro, you didn't pay. The funny part is, he once paid off a $30,000 water bill, so clearly he had the resources, so why let debts build up again and again? Because a crisis makes a better story. They tried to steal our school sounds heroic. I didn't manage my bills does not. Drama gets Cash Apps, Venmos, and PayPals. Accountability does not. In reality, it's simple. Pay your fees, keep your property. Don't pay, the city takes action. But Umar turns unpaid bills into a conspiracy thriller. He can't admit mismanagement, so he spins sabotage instead. And then comes another classic. During the COVID lockdown, when everyone else was stuck inside, Wilmington apparently targeted him with a high-grass ticket. And in Umar world, that wasn't normal city bureaucracy. It was another act of pure sabotage. Check this out.
Even if it is, Baba, even if they say giving out tickets during COVID is an essential function of the city, I was not allowed to come outside because the president said nobody comes outside.
That's right. That's right.
So how in the hell are we getting a ticket for high grass, uncut grass, when I'm not allowed to go outside to cut it?
So this is comedy gold. Seriously, this is from 5 years ago, and Umar is still complaining. He makes it sound like the CDC in Wilmington had a secret task force monitoring his lawn during COVID. It's absurd. Reality check. Cities send inspectors all the time. Tickets for trash, parking, high grass. Annoying? Sure. But normal city policy, not a targeted conspiracy. Umar twists it into a story where he's persecuted, a martyr, and even his grass is out to get him. Here's the pattern. Didn't raise enough money? Blame the haters. Bills too high? Blame the city. School still closed? Blame some shadowy conspiracy. At no point do we hear, I could have done better, or I should have managed this differently. 10 years later, the school is still closed, and somehow it's everyone else's fault but his. That's not leadership. That's dodging accountability. So the real question, are we watching a man build a school or a man build excuses? After 11 years, if the doors aren't open, it might not be the haters, the fees, or even the rain. It might just be Dr. Umar Johnson himself. Check out the full interview on Dr. Umar's channel. Is he truly the most sabotaged man alive, or just a man who avoids responsibility? Drop your thoughts in the comments, hit subscribe, and thanks for watching. See you in the next video.